Good morning everyone, thanks for joining us. We're just here at Peak Wildlife Park and we're going to be starting with some of our zebra training in just a moment. I'll just wait for a few more people to join before we head into our zebra enclosure. So if you're joining us this morning, give us a wave, say hi, let us know you're watching. Once a few more of you have joined, we'll head into our zebra enclosure and you'll get to meet Horus, who we're doing the training with. So hi Louise, hi Julie, thanks for joining us. Hope everyone's okay this morning. It's very cold here at the park. Still lots of snow around, but it is dry, not raining yet, so that's a good day for us. So hi Alison and Claire, thank you so much for joining, guys. Hi Henry, Sky and Hannah, thank you for joining. Got a few of you joining in now. So if you have just joined, we are going to be heading into the zebra enclosure in just a moment, where you'll get to meet Horus. We'll just wait for a few more people to hop on before we start. Hi George and Archie, thanks for joining. Morning Irene, nice to see you're all up about this early. Hi to Albert. Brill guys. So do say hi to us. If you have any questions throughout, just pop them in the comments. We'll answer them as best we can. So we are going to do some training with our young male zebra Horus. We've got people joining us from Barnsley this morning. Hi Jill, hi Rachel. Brill. So we'll head into the enclosure now. So I don't fall over. Hi Lizzie, hi Rachel. So just going to turn the camera around now so you can have a look at our zebra enclosure. So we're on the hard stand, so normally you'll get to see the zebra from all the way down the bottom by those trees there. We're joined by Amy and little Horus over there, who is in the distance. Hopefully they'll come over for a training session. They've not had their breakfast yet, so hopefully he'll be in the mood to do a bit of training with us today. So just before we start, guys, I know it's someone's birthday today. They're 15 years old, and that is Kayla and Carla. So happy birthday to those two. We do have a zebra called Kayla. So once we've done some training with Horus, we will get Kayla over so you can have a look at her. But happy birthday, guys. Hope you have a really nice day. So we'll start on with the training. Now we've got a few of you here. Like I said, any comments, just pop them in the... any questions, pop in the comments and we'll get back to you.
That we're starting the training session. Like you've seen with the other keepers when they've been doing the training, we have like a target. We basically ask Horus to touch that target. We do a little bridge noise, which is used by Clicker, and then we'll give him a food reward. So it's a little bit slippy out there, so Horus is just making his way over nice and slowly so he doesn't slip. Along the fence line, which is obviously not going to do.
I'll show you that now. So we want him to come in between the fence and the log, so just here. So someone's just asking if the zebra ever go where the public can view them. Yeah, the zebras can go out in the field. Sometimes they choose not to go out, but other times they love having a really good run around. So you can see Amy's got a little target there, a stripy one, just like a zebra. And that's Horus's target for him to go to. You see he put his nose in it, and a click. So that click is a bridge to let him know that he's done the correct thing. So morning everyone who's just joining us now. We're just doing some training with Horus, our zebra. He's being trained by Amy, one of our keepers. So he's got some carrots this morning, which are a favourite of Horus. He's quite fussy. So he always does what we want him to do when he has some carrots involved. So George is asking which zebra has the most unique stripes. Well, they're all unique. Each zebra's stripes are just like our fingerprints, so they are unique to every zebra. No zebra stripes are the same. So you can have a really good look at Horus's here if you'll let me come a bit closer. So Amy just has to really focus on what she's doing with Horus. We've come a really long way with Horus's training. So we started off just basically target training him at the fence like Amy's doing now. but more he was facing on, so we've had to train him to stand like this against the fence. He didn't really like it at first, so believe it or not, this has taken us such a long time to get here. He stands better with his, is it this side to us or the other side? Oh, so he's doing good today. Normally he doesn't like standing on this side, but the reason we're doing this training is for healthcare reasons. So it's to trim their hooves basically. So I don't know if you see Horus's lovely hooves, just ignore that big pile of poop on the floor. But just like a horse's hooves, zebra's hooves might need trimming. So this is just a good way so we can get a little bit closer to Horus, get him used to being in close proximity to us, and hopefully we can get hands on and handle his feet and his hooves and trim them down in a stress-free way for us and Horus. So this fence here is like a protective barrier, which our lovely maintenance team made, and these slats can come out. But basically the goal is to be able to touch his leg, pick up his hoof and give that a trim. Obviously zebras can be quite dangerous animals. Horus is super chilled out, but I would not want to kick off one of these guys. They are quite similar to horses, but they are wild animals, so we just need to respect that and be safe. So Rachel's asking if the zebras mind the snow. They don't at all, and they're fine in cold temperatures. We did let them out yesterday and they had a little run around on the paddock. I don't know if you can see the little footprints there. So if you have any questions about the training, guys, feel free to pop them in the comments below. You can see how good Horus is. This is a really good behaviour. It shows that he feels comfortable with Amy. He trusts her, and that's exactly the bond we want with our animals. And obviously Horus can leave at any point, and we're not making him be here. So if he's not interested, which sometimes he isn't, he'll go stand over there where the girls are. So that's fine. We don't make him do it. We want this to be enjoyable for Horus as well. So I'll see if we can get a little bit closer. Of course he is.
Hold. Head forward. Good boy.
The best noise is listen to Horus crunch through his carrots.
Target. Good boy.
So as well, you might have noticed we cut the carrots into long sticks because we don't want Horus to nibble our fingers, so nice and long. So he's really showing off today. So he's just stopped and had a little listen there. There's I think there's a tractor in a field he's probably listening to. So hi to David and Doreen in Suffolk and Amber and Olive in Macclesfield. Thank you for joining us today, guys. So Horus is doing really well at his training. Sometimes when we're doing this, he's literally not interested. He'll be walking up and down. So Julie's just asking how old he is, Amy. He's almost 4, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be 4 in April.
Oh, so calm down, Horus. It's like, don't really feel managed. Also, Becca's saying hi from Darcy, Amy.
Hi guys.
Also morning from Vicky. Thank you for joining us, guys. So Amy's just doing some training with Horus. If you've just joined, you can see he's been really, really good. And we're just doing this training for healthcare reasons. Obviously you can't really go up and cuddle a zebra, they are wild animals, so this is just a way of getting Horus to voluntarily cooperate in healthcare routines. So like I said before, we can check his hooves, and also if we maybe need to give him an injection. So Maria's just asking what the clicker's for, and that's just a bridge. So because we can't get the food to him really quick, that click lets him know that he's done a good job, and that's exactly what we want him to do. So we don't always have to give him a reward when we click. But obviously you can see it does take Amy a little bit of time to get that food out of her pocket there. So it's just to let him know that he has done the right thing. So when you start with training, you do just get them used to that clicker and food, so they know that that clicker means food. So we have 3 zebra at the park. You'll get to see the rest of them soon. Once we've finished doing a bit of training with Horus, we're going to give him and the girls their breakfast. I don't know if you can see over there, just in the distance, like just there, little zebra, waiting for breakfast. Yeah, the girls are very good. I think she's coming down. So what's a group of zebra called, Amy? Is it a dazzle?
Yeah, there's like a lot of different words you can use. I mean, the most common is just a herd of zebra target.
Dazzle sounds fancier though, doesn't it? Real fancy zebra. And Becca's asking, are they black and white or white and black?
If you have a look at their nose, that might give it away. Target.
Oh.
So they're black with white stripes. So their nose is black in colour.
Hello, Horus.
Target. Good boy.
So, I don't know if anyone's seen the inside of a zebra's mouth before, but you will have done now.
Target. Good boy.
Look at that snoot. Oh. Hi, Horus. No, you don't eat the phone. That'll be a good video, the digestive tract of a zebra. So you can see Horus does no command, so he knows head forward means to stick his head forward there. He's very good. And Amy is saying hold to him. I don't know if you've heard her saying that, but that just means stay where you are. See, so she clicks when she's done the command that he wants her to do. So this is something you can do with any pets you have at home. If you have a dog, obviously with your dog you don't need to do this kind of training, but you can train them different things. So this training here that Amy's doing now, this is what we started with, just through the fence. Really, really nice and easy. So Rachel's just asking why they don't have stripy tails. I don't know if you can see, but he does have a few stripes on his tail. So you can see that the hair at the top is actually a bit black and white. And it does just fade to a darker colour, so they have a little bit stripy. He doesn't like us being too close to his bottom end. So you can see what a good boy Horus is. Like I said, this has taken us a long time to get here. There was a time where if he accidentally tripped over his own feet, he would run away. So Amy just gave him a little jackpot reward there. So that's just to say that he's done a really good job. He's got a handful of carrots. And we ring the magic bell. So this is a little bit of a close-up at Horus here. Hi. So he's a very good boy. And Julie said he's lovely, and that's right. You can see he's got his little hairs around his face as well. So, is anybody ready to see the rest of our zebra? You can get to meet the girls now. Horus is not going to steal all of the show, although he's very cute and he's giving it his best shot. So we'll just move our equipment out that we don't need right now. We don't want the zebra running around with a bell or a bucket. Horus does like to throw his dish around, so we don't want to give him anything else to do. And this is just one of our zebra houses, if anybody's curious to what they look like. It's a big stable, and we've got some enrichment hung up here so we can put carrots and things in this. And this moves, so gives the zebra a bit of a challenge to get their food out. So we've just finished our training, guys, and we are going to be feeding them their breakfast, so do feel free to stay and join us for that one. Amy's just popping their food into their dishes. So if you do have any questions, do feel free to pop them in the comments. And yeah, this is Horus again, because we can't get enough of Horus, can we? Look through the gap. Hi, gorgeous boy. So if you have a look at Horus's stripes there, you can see they are quite unique. And when the girls come out, you'll be able to see how different all of their stripes are. So Horus does have like 2 little marks on his bottom there. I don't know if you can see, sorry, through the fence, but that's one marking that Horus has that none of the other zebra have. So our zebra get fed on different hard stands. They have a specific one each. We have to separate them for food because Zara scoffs her food so quickly. and Kayla does take a long time to eat, so we do separate them up just so everyone's getting their fair share. So we've got Kayla coming out here. So I know it was someone's birthday today, who's called Kayla, with her sister, who's called Carla. So, Amy, someone was just asking how old the oldest zebra is.
Ooh, I don't know the answer to that question. I'll maybe Google that.
Maybe she might mean here at the park.
Oh, here at the park. Zara's our oldest. So she is 7. I think her birthday's in August, so she's sort of about 7.5 really. Kayla, her birthday's
That's
in
Kayla.
March, so she's almost 5, and then Horus is our youngest. But they sort of can live in their 20s, so they've got quite a long time, hopefully left with us at the moment.
So there's Zara just at the back. So someone's just asking what kind of zebra they are.
So these guys are Maneless Zebra, so that's a subspecies of common zebra. So there are sort of 3 species of zebra, and then there's subspecies within those species as well. So it's often their stripes that look a little bit different. So for example, Grevy's zebra, the stripes are a lot kind of closer together, and they look like they've got a lot more stripes than these guys do. Right, I'll go and get you guys ready and waiting.
So Horus come to us with his name. He come from, I think it's the Czech Republic. So he come with that lovely name Horus. It does suit him quite a lot. And sorry if someone didn't hear that, but they are a type of maneless zebra, or half mane zebra. You can see Horus's little fluffy mane there, not very big. And then Zara, she'll come over in a minute. She'll get quite stroppy over food, but she doesn't really have a mane at all. But Horus is still quite young. You can see he's still a little bit more brown in colour and a little bit more fluffy. He's got a little bit more growing to do. So it's breakfast time now. Amy's coming in with the goods. Lovely, delicious feed of Zebra Cube. So our zebra do get a special feed which is formulated just for zebra. So Horus knows it's time for his.
Thank you. There you go.
As you can see, Horus is just having his here. So it's just a little cube, nothing fancy. It's got everything he needs to be big and strong, as you can see. And then we'll go say hi to Zara. So Zara's a very good girl. She's like Amy said, she's our oldest zebra. And you can see she's got beautiful big markings, and you can see that her mane doesn't really exist. And we'll leave her to her breakfast because she does get quite defensive over food.
Yes,
she doesn't share very well.
I will separate them.
So yeah, that's the zebra, guys. If anybody has any other questions, you can pop them down below. If you can see that Zara's stripes, if you have a really good look at her stripes and then have a look at Horus, you can see they are quite different.
Oh, it's the son of his baby.
Yeah, floof. So David asking if they neigh like horses.
They can make a few different vocalizations, yeah. So, for example, say if something's going on the park or something's taken our time in the morning, and we haven't quite got up here on time as what the zebras would feel like, then sometimes Zara will do sort of like a little call. It kind of can sound similar to a horse, yeah. They often will sort of like exhale air through their nostrils as well, which horses do. And then they'll also make little vocalizations to each other, especially when they kind of have been separated for a couple of minutes when they eat, and they'll kind of go back to each other and they'll kind of show each other their teeth and like have a little bit of a nibble on each other as well. And they groom each other quite a little bit, and they sometimes will make vocalizations when they groom as well. Kayla's very interested in the tractor rather than her breakfast.
As per usual, she gets distracted so easily.
The Robin's just waiting on her bucket, so some stealing of her food.
It's alright, Kay. So you can see as well, guys, we've got a lovely view this morning, all of the snow.
Really
It does. It's very cold though.
out as well, which is hopeful.
It's fighting there, isn't it? Hopefully we can have a bit of sun. But you never know. So just, I don't know if anyone heard that. Kayla just had a bit of a huff then, like Amy was describing.
Yeah, so Kayla gets very distracted sometimes while she's eating, so she'll kind of take some feed out of her bucket and then she'll kind of go for a wander around and then she'll come back to her bucket, which is another reason why we have to separate them for feed, because if Kayla left her bucket, Zara would just come along and just eat everything. She's very food orientated, and Horus would probably try and eat her food as well once he'd finished his. So yeah, we have to kind of keep them separate. Sometimes for us keepers it can feel like an age before Kayla's finished her breakfast.
Yeah.
Especially when you've finished all your cleaning. So normally what we'll do is we'll separate them and then I'll go and get my wheelbarrow now from outside, bring it in, and I'll be cleaning them whilst I'm waiting for Kayla to eat, so at least it takes up a bit of the time. But sometimes even we have to wait after we finish cleaning for her to continue to eat.
Yeah, she does get so distracted if there's like a tractor, a lorry, anything like that. She's just so nosy. If anybody opens a gate on the other side of the zoo.
Yeah, so the zebra are flight animals, so you say the fight or flight response. So if they do sense danger, their automatic kind of response is to just run away or get away from the situation. So they'll kind of prick their ears up like Kayla's doing now. She's gone to like suss out what it is, and then if she thinks that's danger, she'll just like move away. So that's kind of how they survive in the wild. They're in large groups, and if they hear danger, their instinct is to run so they don't get eaten by a lion. And that's kind of the same here. So another reason why Yaz was saying earlier that we kind of do the training in protected contact manner. So we work free contact with them when we're feeding or we're cleaning, because we've got a big space to be able to kind of get away. But when we want to get like really up close to them, that's just your bucket, Horus.
So Horus just throws his bucket around when he's finished eating.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that, like, because we might not be able to get away from the situation as quickly, that we kind of have that barrier. With them being a flight animal, they could just take off at any point, and we don't want to get in the way of that.
Absolutely not. So we'll go to Horus. And Rachel's just asking, is there skin stripey underneath the hair?
I haven't actually seen a zebra skin all the way down, but I would imagine it's just kind of like the same colour as what that their fur is underneath, pretty much.
So you can see Horus has cleaned up everything, every last crumb. Kayla's having a wander around. What's going on, Kayla? Hello. So Rachel is asking, what are the zebras' diet at the park? So Horus is just licking the dish. Must be yummy.
So they get a special zebra cube, which is made just for them. And then obviously they have access to the grass, which there's not much of at the moment because it's all covered in snow. And then we supplement them with hay as well. So we just need to make sure, because they out in the wild will spend a lot of their time grazing, that we provide them when there's not as much access to grass with the same amount of grazing through hay really. And then they just get a small amount of pellet, not very much at all, just to make sure that they're kind of getting everything that they need vitamin and mineral wise that might not be coming from the grass or the hay that we supply them with.
Horus does start to throw his dish around.
He's like me, I would never do such a thing.
You would. You would, Horus.
So you can see his little ears were back then because he's just investigating. He has his phone, so he's not too sure of it.
What is this?
He just wants to know what it is, so they'll kind of pin their ears back a little bit when they're not so sure about something.
You're famous, Horus. Everybody loves you. What's not to love?
Horus, there's literally nothing in there.
He's like getting every last bit out of there. I don't know if you can see. All stuck to his face.
Smooth.
So Davey and Caroline are saying they love the zebra. They are very awesome.
Yeah, I definitely think my favourite species. Hello.
So Horus is finished. You can see all gone. Also, Archie's asking, how fast are the zebras?
They can get pretty fast. I don't know the exact number. I mean, like sometimes we do worry a little bit when they kind of go bombing it around our field that they might not use their brakes in time before the fence arrives. But yeah, they can run extremely fast. Obviously they're a prey animal out in the wild, so they need to be able to get away from that danger. So yeah, I wouldn't like to be in the way of a zebra running towards me.
And Sarah's just asking, what is the average lifespan of a zebra?
So you're looking at sort of like 15 years or so in the wild. Obviously that can be increased in captivity. So I was saying before that they can live sort of into their 20s. So even though Zara, we say, is our oldest zebra, she is only 7. She's like sort of still quite a young zebra really. So these females, both Kayla and Zara, would sort of be at breeding age now where they would start to have foals and things. Horus isn't quite fully mature yet, and that'll sort of happen over the next year or so. So we might see some breeding behaviours after that possibly.
That would be good. Little baby zebra, we'd like that a lot.
Yeah, we would.
So hopefully Horus can woo the girls. They do kind of change their mind whether they like him or not, don't they? I do feel bad for him. Some days they love him and other days they don't want him anywhere near them. He's a little bit full on sometimes though.
Yeah.
Aren't you, Horus? So yeah, so we're just waiting on Kayla. Like Amy said, this is a usual thing, but luckily they've left lots of poop for us to clean up. So there's a dog just barked somewhere in the distance, so you can see Kayla is having a really good listen to this. Still chewing, of course.
Multitasking.
So you won't be able to hear, guys, but there's lots of noises going on, tractors and things, and like I said, she just hears absolutely everything. Yeah, she's definitely the most, they do have their own personalities, don't they? I'd say Kayla's a little bit more nervous than the others.
She's definitely, yeah, that sometimes makes her the most unpredictable as well, because she is quite nervous of things. We can normally tell what Zara and Horus's reactions are going to be about things, but when we put new things in the enclosure, even if it's just a log,
Yeah.
you know, something that's quite naturalistic, and there's plenty of logs already in the enclosure, she can get quite sort of scared. A lot of the enrichment, as Yaz was saying, like we have the log feeder hung up, we leave in here all the time, and we just put the enrichment in it, like the food and things when we come in, because if we bring the enrichment item in and out all the time, they do get quite nervous about it. So it's just about desensitisation really, getting her used to things. I mean, she's a lot more used to noises around here than she was, especially when our maintenance team are moving hay bales and things. She used to be really nervous and she'd kind of be running around, whereas now she'll just kind of watch them drive up with the hay bales, and she's not really that bothered. So over time they do get used to things. It's just the same with Horus's training really, just getting them used to it, and then eventually they'll kind of be all right with it, and they're fine.
George, who's 10, has asked, what do the zebras use their stripes for?
So it's basically to sort of camouflage them. So out in the wild, if they were kind of going to be predated on, like I say, they'll be in sort of like large groups in the herd, and then a lot of them together, it'd be quite hard for that predator to actually make out one zebra, because like a lot of zebras stood together, there's a lot of stripes, and you kind of can't see the actual individual as well, so it kind of camouflages them to kind of help them not be eaten.
It's always good when that doesn't happen.
Yeah, they also say, I mean, you might have seen horses that will often wear kind of like a coat, sometimes in the summer, that's zebra striped, because they often think it does stop the flies from landing on them as well. So we sometimes do see a few flies around them, especially horse flies, in the summer, but not as many that you do see around the other animals. So it is obviously working for them.
And then Belle just wants to know if the zebras like playing in the snow.
They definitely like running around in it when we first let them out, which can sometimes be a bit scary for us keepers. But yeah, they'll have a little roll in it, and they'll run around in it. So I guess that's their idea of play really, yeah.
Well, so I found a few carrots in my pocket, so I'll go give them to Zara, because I don't think people have met her properly yet, have they? Excuse me, Horus? So we've got some carrots, and we'll see if we can entice Zara. Do you want a carrot?
What's going on? Why is the two of you here?
Here you are, Zara. So I might have to just get her over. She's definitely will have finished her food, Zara. So Zara's the oldest and biggest, as we've already said, and she does have a little exclamation mark point on her neck. That's one way of identifying Zara. She's got it on both sides, so if you do come up, you might be able to identify Zara all on your own. I've got a carrot here. She's
slowly making her way over.
Hey, Zara. A good girl. So this is Zara. Yeah. The best crunchy noise ever.
Can't eat the phones, Zara.
So a nice good close look at Zara there. She's absolutely gorgeous. Here Mike, one of our keepers, whistling as he goes. So
They're all listening now, even Zara is. It's just Mike.
So Tammy said that Zara is a queen, which she is.
She is the queen.
She's top zebra. She keeps the rest of them in check, and she's quite good at reassuring them. If anything happens that scares the other zebra, they all go to Zara, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Or if something spooked them overnight, sometimes we can tell when we come in because they're a bit reluctant to separate for their feed. They all want to stay together, which is a natural instinct in the wild that they would stay together in the herd to protect themselves. So these two will kind of be a bit nervous. So Zara will actually walk the others to their areas and then walk herself back to her area so that she can have her breakfast.
Yeah.
So she is very, very good.
She is. She does look after them. So Zara is the zebra we've had the longest. So Horus and Kayla, when they've come in, Zara's looked after them. Hasn't. It's a Horus again. Hello, you. So I think we'll wrap it up now, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you if you've supported us by donating or sharing anything or dropping us a letter or buying anything off our Amazon wishlist. Oh, sorry, is that Horus? Are we boring? He's tired of you all now. Yeah, so thank you so much for your support, guys. We really, really do appreciate it. Horus, how rude. Horus does appreciate it as well. Don't worry about that. I know some people have bought some things off our Amazon wish list, some of the supplements for our zebra. And just before, Rachel was asking how much do they eat in a day, and they all get different amounts of food, don't they? Because they're all different shapes and sizes, so they all do get a different weight of food. So we weigh it all out every day. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. If you are wondering how you can help us in this time, you can just pop over to our main Facebook page. There's a few links there. Or even just supporting us on things like this, joining in and chatting to us in the morning. It's really nice to know that you're all joining us for these, and we can't wait to see you back at the park. So we do have another live on Friday at 9 a.m. again. So hopefully we'll see you then bright and early. So from me and Amy, bye, guys.
Bye.